Hello, everybody. We're here. It's the party. We are celebrating the alignment blueprint, a personal growth workbook, a step by step guide to living with purpose and authenticity. Before I start, I want to thank my brother, Darian Dennis, for the music. He has so graciously allowed me to use his music. So make sure you go and look up Darian Dennis on Spotify and run up his publishing. So before we get started, I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for celebrating with me. Thank you for praying with me, for supporting me, all of the things. I'm so grateful for all of you that are here, as well as my guests that are joining me. They are all very busy and very important, and they thought it not robbery to be here with me. We're going to introduce them a little bit later. If you're in the comments, I want you to know that we got some giveaways. So, one person will be winning a signed copy of the workbook. I also have a wonderful gift sponsor. Soulfully Bees Gems has so graciously offered to provide a beautiful gift set. And then my t-shirt that I designed, Worship and Everything, it says worship and twerking, prayer and therapy, spirituality and sensuality, because over here, we practice duality. That's not on the shirt, but just so you know, that's what we do. So you'll also have a chance to win one of the shirts that are also available on my website. So comment alignment. If you want a chance to win, make sure you comment alignment and make sure that you give StreamYard your permission so that I can see your name and follow up with you afterwards. So that way I can actually give the person who won the gift that I have. So now let's go. We are going to talk with my friends. So now that we're here, these are my guests. I'm going to ask them, starting with Jamise, to introduce themselves, tell the people who you are, and answer the question, what does alignment mean to you?
Well. First of all, can we give her I am so freaking excited. I try not to curse on the internet because it messes with the algorithms. But if I, could say what I really want to say, Selena knows what I would say. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on the alignment blueprint. It is absolutely beautiful. Can we start off with that? Like, it is absolutely beautiful. The pages, the design, the intentionality that went into the book is just absolutely gorgeous, and it shines through. And so I am excited to go through the workbook, and I hope that you are excited as well. My name is Jamise Be Porterfield. I go by Jamise Be. Please call me Jamise Be, okay? It's Jamise. Okay, I say that for emphasis, okay? Because if you call me Jamise, I'm not fit to answer you. I hail from Brooklyn, New York. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Southside Queens, and I am currently in my Southern girl era, okay, in North Carolina. I'm training for my Southern mother era, okay, and we waiting on that. I am a powerhouse of energy, a commanding coach, and a healing voice calling the world to its highest self. I operate in this world in many different ways, but today we're going to focus on the spiritual liberation coach. I grew up as a PK, and through that experience, it has brought me into alignment with my spiritual liberation. And so to answer the question of alignment, I am a literal person. I like definitions. And so I looked it up, okay? Because I want to know what the people have said that, it means. And so one of the definitions that came up was arrangement in a straight line. And for me, I would offer that alignment is so far from a straight line. for me. What is alignment in one area, what is aligned, or what I would call aligned in one area of my life may not be the same in another area of my life. And so I think that is very important for us to each individually hone in on our purposes, our gifts, and what it is that we are here to do. Because again, what is alignment for one person is not alignment for the other. And then within one person's life, it can be aligned in one area of your life and then not be aligned in another area of your life. The other definition that came up was a position of agreement, or alliance. And so for me, alignment has also been coming into agreement with what the creator has already said about me, right? But before I could come in agreement with that, I had to understand what the creator actually said, right? And that's what sent me on my deconstruction journey, because I was hearing some things that did not align with what I felt inside. And so it had me questioning, like, oh, look, if God is in me, we got to be saying the same thing. And since we're not saying the same thing, what is this all about, and where did this come from? And so I'll leave it at that for now. And I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Sis, you talking good already. We already off to a really good start. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss it to Tama Aziz Sewa. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
So is this the part where I twerk or no? Is this
We can twerk.
Is it a good time or no?
If you want to introduce yourself to the twerk, I'm okay with. I'm more than okay with that. Okay, that's a wonderful way to introduce.
No, we can twerk in community. Okay,
the glory of the Lord.
Okay, the stress away. So, hey y'all. First of all, I am so proud of you. Not that you need me to be, but anytime one of my sisters is able to do exactly what she wants to do and see the fruit of her labor, it's something that I have to pause and say, congratulations. Thank you for including me in the celebration, because I do turn up and I think this is a perfect time to do that. I am the visionary of a company and a movement called the Womb Sauna. What I've been doing for 12 years nonstop is teaching women how to heal everything through the art of yoni steaming, through my programs. Anything a woman needs to be whole and empowered, she can find at my company. But what I prefer to talk about is this definition of alignment, right? Because, I like to be deep and ratchet at the same time. And so I done twerked a little bit. I already put my leg on my desk. And so now I just want to give some depth here. And I want to talk about my definition of alignment. For me, it directly reflects my journey of healing my separatism from God. So I'm aligned when I'm able to recognize God within me, despite how I feel. And that recognition can override my insecurities. It can override my anxieties, because I know God is real. And every day that I wake up and I can breathe and I can move my left cheek and right cheek, I feel like I'm in alignment. I feel like I'm with God. And I feel like recognizing that is really powerful, and it allows you to have enough clarity to go right into execution. Once you get into execution, you get into the rewards, you get into the prosperity, you get into the overflow of the blessings, because you're aligned. So that's my thoughts on it.
I love that. I love that so much. And finally, my pastor, the only person that I will probably ever call pastor for the ever in my life. I never thought I would ever call somebody pastor again, but here he is, and I'm so grateful, because he's already been working today. Everybody been working today, and they thought it not robbery to come share their evening with me. So Christian, take it away.
Let me tell you something. You are blessing me with this thought it not robbery, okay? That thing is blessing me. We thank you for coming out tonight. You thought it not robbery in the midst of your busy schedules to join us on tonight. On tonight. Yes. It's always on tonight. Now, I'm really glad to be here in support of Selenia. My name is Christian A. Smith, and I'm a digital pastor of the Faith Community Virtual, where Selenia is one of our leaders in the ministry. Just a brilliant mind, very relatable, approachable individual who has shared so much insight and um, just been a companion to so many people on their journey of really deconstructing and decolonizing their sexual ethics. So I really appreciate you for how you have contributed so much in that area. So we have a good time. We laugh, we joke at the faith community. I personally I help people deconstruct harmful theology, and I build beloved community. And I do that through content creation. I'm a public theologian. I host a podcast called Holy Smoke, Cigars, and Spirituality, which is a ministry of the faith community. And I'm a disruptor at the end of the day. Like pretty much everything that I do, I disrupt, and I disrupt harm. I disrupt what harms people. So I don't just, I'm not just out here making noise for the sake of making noise, but I really want to reduce the harm that is caused to people that I love. And I'm glad to be here and to have this conversation about alignment. And for me, if I could break down what alignment means to me in one word, what comes to mind is peace. I feel the most aligned when I am at peace within myself. And I prioritize that in every way, because it's an inside job. Alignment is less about what's going on externally for me, but it's really tied to what's going on internally. So things can be haywire around me, but I have to look within myself and ask myself, am I at peace with this situation, in the direction that I'm going in the position that I'm in? And that's what alignment looks like to me.
That is beautiful. Thank you, guys. So I waited to last. If you didn't know, I'm Lou Selenia, and I'm the author of the Alignment Blueprint. And just a little bit about me. So I am a Pentecostal baby. I grew up as a PK in what I like to tell people. I'm like, my church experience is mixed in the Spanish Pentecostal church, which is really more like holiness, but also in the Black church. So I have a very interesting relationship with the church based on those experiences. And if you were anything like me, I was at one point in time almost obsessed with figuring out what my purpose was. Anybody remember The Purpose-Driven Life? I read that book, and I used to be so concerned that I did not know what my purpose was. Until like 30 something years old, I heard God so clearly, and God was like, y'all got it all wrong. The purpose that you have is not what you do. Your purpose is to be who you are, to be who you're supposed to be. I'm a cuss, to unfuck yourself, heal from your trauma, to be able to be who you were created to be. In the beginning of the book, I started off with a quote that says, when we make the choice to heal what broke us, we invite hope back into our hearts and make space for it to grow. Healing is the fertilizer for love to eventually blossom, and it's the elixir to banish cynicism once and for all. Many times, it seems like life will only deliver to us what we expect and believe in. If we think love is only a currency or convenience, this is all we will see. However, if we believe in love that the entire universe conspired to create, we will see that reflected in our own lives. And that's why I wrote the Alignment Blueprint. I wrote it to be your personal roadmap to clarity and confidence and meaningful success, and as other people, for peace. to be able to align with your truest, highest, your most favorite version of yourself. And it's a very tangible book with exercises and prompts because I really want you to be able to do the work, not just read about the work, but actually start doing the work, like figuring out your people pleasing tendencies. What are you saying yes to that you don't have to say yes to survive, but you're doing it because you don't want to make people uncomfortable? Who do you have in your life that is draining you, not adding to you? I'm not talking about your kids, not your dependents, but full grown people that are constantly taking from you and never give to you. These kinds of things so that you can start to live authentically and in your purpose to be who you are, to have the peace, to have ultimate alignment. So we're going to take a little break because my cousin Kiana is going to come and bless us with a song, and then we will be right back. So while she's coming on, I'm going to share a little story. So I didn't know that we was related. I met her I also founded an organization called Charm City Live Music, and I met her through one of my greatest friends, Spider. And we're sitting there talking, and on Facebook, we're commenting on a picture of my nephew, her cousin. And I was like, wait a minute, we family. So if you've never heard of her, please go support her. She's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Go buy her music. She is an amazing psalmist, songstress, soul singer. And so I'm just so grateful that she decided to share her time with us. So I'm going to remove myself and let her have the stage.
Good evening, everyone. I wanna answer what alignment means to me. I'm sorry. Yes, I came to sing, and I'm gonna get right to it. But in the etymology, just in itself has been compared to the utterance of the Most High God, and how maybe that could have been its first name. Now we say God, or we say Olodumare, or we say Buddha. But for that to be the beginning of a line, I say, okay, to the highest, lined up like this. Everything's encompassed in the all, of course. But I think there's a goal. So that's what a line means to me. Okay, nobody is, but I know. Thank you for your indulgence. I do hope this music is audible. You love me, it's special, different. Every time you keep me on my feet, happily excited by your cologne, your hands, your smile, your intelligence. You me, you caught me, you tease me, you please me, you school me, give me things to think about, ignite me, you invite me, you call me, you love me, you like me, inside me too. For Oh, you love me in every way imaginable. Sometimes I thought it was unfathomable. Me. Until I decided I loved me. And then the universe gave me a bunch of things to reflect that, and baby, here we are, and I throw it back because you like a star. There you go, real far. I'm so glad to have you in my life. Cause you, when you touch me, I can't hold it. Ooh, I can't control it. The emotions inside of me, I can feel it. Ooh, emotion, can't control it. I can't hold it inside of me. I can feel it. Ooh. Make me sing. You love me, especially different every time. Every
Woo! Let me tell y'all, if Kiana is in your area, go see her. That is just a taste of what you get. Kiana and Fort West. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing your gift with us.
Thank you
I
for
love you.
having me to
Of
be a
course.
part of such a wonderful event. Congratulations, beautiful
Thank
cousin.
you. Thank
You
you. Thank
making it real. You inspiring. You're doing it. You
thank
have
you
not
so
separated yourself from it by any means. I love it. I love
I love
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get back. Whew. Make me want to call my man. Which one is the question? No. I shouldn't have said that. They probably watching.
On the internet being messy.
Look, I'm honest. I'm in alignment. Everybody knows. I don't
I'm about to say, if they know, as long as
whether
everything is consensual, yo.
right, whether they want to accept it or not. That's
You're
between them
great.
and their.
That's hilarious.
Okay. They need to get in alignment. Okay. All right. Back. So yes, thank you all. Make sure you are still putting alignment if you want to enter into the giveaway. In a few minutes, I will announce the first winner. And we're going to go into our discussion. And the first question that I have for all of you is, how has achieving or pursuing alignment transformed your life? And I'll go first. 8 years ago by now, I was about 300 pounds, laid off from my job at BET that I was there for like 12 years, and in an abusive relationship, raising my then boyfriend's son. I wasn't dreaming. I wasn't looking at myself in the mirror. I was existing. I was doing all the things that I thought I was supposed to do, and yet was completely disconnected from anyone that was important to me, especially myself. And truth be told, like, I did all the things that I thought to do, that I was taught to do. I prayed, I read the Bible, I went to church, and I just did feel no different. And it wasn't until going to therapy and my therapist starting to ask me questions, and giving me permission to question what I was taught and what I thought I believed, or I said I believed, that really put me on this path of alignment, through healing, through deconstructing, through decolonizing, through really loving myself and figuring out what that actually means and what it looks like. And so now I sit here, I don't struggle anymore. I don't have any abusive relationships in my life. I am at peace and experiencing a joy that I only thought was, was possible in other ways, not in the ways of actually honoring myself and who God created me to be. I'm getting finer as the days go by. Like, it's crazy. I really am more beautiful now because I'm radiating from the inside. And people ask me all the time, like, how? And I'm just like, y'all don't want to hear the answer if you don't want to do the work to heal. It's not the gym. The gym is, I do that because it feels good. It really is the work of healing and really figuring out what alignment has meant to me, that has really enabled me to write a book and to release this book into the world, and to share what I have learned, what I have gotten out the mud. So yeah, that's how it's transformed my life. Who wants to go next? Just go ahead, unmute yourself.
I'll jump in there since I went last time. You know, for me, how has alignment transformed my life? I think when I think of alignment, and I said I think about it in terms of peace and like this internal agreement. That's a part of alignment: peace, internal agreement. If you're aligned with other people, then you share agreements with those people. But I think about it more so internally, and much like you, really tapping in to my emotions, like, has been everything for me. So, you went to your therapist. I married one. and she wouldn't like therapize me or anything like that. She would just ask me questions that I had not considered because I wasn't raised in a space where I was asked to consider my emotions. So, like, there are a couple of moments that were really significant for me. One time, something happened, I don't know. And my wife said, "How you feel about that? How'd that make you feel?" And, I'm a cerebral guy. I think a lot. I stay in my head a whole lot. So I told her what I think. I was like, yo, I think this, boom, 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 boom. I got it laid out. And she was like, yeah, that's good. That's what's up. I asked you, how did you feel though? And that was the first time somebody asked me that. And I was like, oh, wait a minute now. Because you're right. I did just tell you what I think. And nobody ever asked me to really consider what I feel. And I really had to sit with that. And sitting with that helped me so much because it's like, I've never actually considered how stuff makes me feel. I just think about how I'm going to resolve it, how I'm going to solve it. What am I going to do? Because, you got to take action, make it work. work it out. And I was like, nah, I need to actually sit with how stuff makes me feel. So that was like the first time. And then the second time was in my public ministry. So, I started doing this disruptive public ministry. I had a Facebook Live I would do every week where I would just ask theological questions that, most people didn't want to ask or were afraid to ask in public. And I would be having these exchanges with people. And I knew my argument was solid. Like, because I went to school, I studied this, I picked it apart. I knew my argument was solid. And I was, and my dad raised me like an attorney. My dad, if I wanted something from him, he would be like, well, state your case. Why should I give this to you? So I was trained to make an argument for everything. And I'm going back and forth with people with my sound, logical arguments, getting nowhere. And once again, my wife came in like, the problem is you're responding to people with logic, but they connect to this stuff emotionally. And you're approaching their emotions with your logic, where if you would address their emotions, they might be more open to your logic. And that was just such a huge turning point for me. And it's how I deal with people, because I process my emotions really fast and then I'm ready to move on. And I had to realize some people need more time to sit there. And that has been so significant for me in my personal and my professional life. So yeah, I would not be sitting here right now if it weren't for taking that journey, because TFC wouldn't exist like the way that it does had I not developed that internal emotional alignment.
Well, I am, for one, very grateful because the faith community and you and Pamela and everyone else has been such a blessing to me and to so many people. And that emotional piece is so huge because, and I'll tell people all the time, take away the judgment and look at your emotions as messengers. It is an internal system that God has given us to either tell us something is going really, really good or something needs to be addressed. And too often we want to lean into what we consider positive, except we don't realize that when we don't allow ourselves and don't have the emotional intelligence and maturity to experience the fullness of our emotions, we're also cutting ourselves off from the good stuff. We can't experience the fullness of the joy if we don't know how to alchemize the fullness of our anger. Next, because I'll get on the soapbox. Tama, Jamise, which one of y'all want to go? Go ahead, Tama.
So the question was, how did alignment change my life?
Yes.
It helped me relax. I didn't realize how on edge I was living. And for a long time, I was living in a chronic trauma response and didn't even realize it. Almost like being in the car with no brakes, right? And you just going. And because the body keeps score, I would go into these crises with my health and I'd be forced to stop. And in that being forced to stop, I would have to reevaluate my choices, my mindset, my actions, my relationships. I was constantly auditing my relationships because they were mirroring back to me the truth of my value system. When I was surrounding myself with people who did not see me correctly, it influenced how I saw myself. So I had to be willing to find the courage and the strength to change and get in alignment so that I could return to the joy. And so now joy is my default emotion. It's where I go first. Whereas it used to be rage, it used to be depression, it used to be all these other things. Now I'm the happiest I've ever been. And that's because I'm in alignment with the truth of who I am. I love that internal agreement piece because that's really what it's about. I've made the right agreements with myself, and now I can relax. My nervous system is happy. Same thing. Now I can be more even keel. I can function differently.
Yeah, and that nervous system piece is so key because our nervous system is created through our experiences. And so when we're sitting here saying we want love, we want wealth, we want abundance, if you have not experienced that, your nervous system is going to read that as fear, as discomfort, and you will self-sabotage the very thing that you desire the most because your nervous system doesn't know how to sustain it, let alone accept it. And we will take those negative emotions and say, oh, well, this must be not what God wants for me because I'm afraid. And that must mean that I'm not in alignment with this, or it's too hard. It requires work. And somewhere in the scripture, somebody online say it's supposed to be easy. Wait, like, no.
Or
but
they tell you,
again, go ahead.
Or they tell you that you're untriggerable.
Please don't do this shit today, okay? It's been a fucking long ass week, and I need to let this shit out any fucking way, okay?
I don't know on this live.
What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck does that even mean?
What is that?
William Murphy, and I say this because it's public. It's been posted to the public. William Murphy said that.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like a trigger is an involuntary response to external stimuli. So it's not voluntary. You can't be untriggerable. But you got people in pulpits who don't understand like what these words actually mean, and they just come up with pithy phrases around them, and it's just bad. So you can't be in alignment if you're taking emotional advice from somebody who tells you that you're untriggerable, because that's just not even possible.
It's not.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's good. I mean, the thing is we have to think critically about the things that people are telling us. And because if not, then we'll take that and think like, oh yeah. And the thing is, the opposite of healing is not being so calm that you just let anybody do whatever you want to you. That does not mean that you're healed, that you're not triggered, or that you don't respond. No, the opposite of healing is actually having the appropriate response. That's what it means to heal. Having the appropriate response. And your trigger, again, is sending you a message. When you have emotional maturity, doesn't mean you're going to fly off the handle, but you will respond appropriately. If it's anger, somebody might be crossing a line. What are you going to do with that? You're going to set a boundary, or you're going to let them keep crossing the line, and then you carrying that rage, and it's impacting your nervous system and the way that your body functions because you're just always angry. Go ahead, Jamie.
I think you should send the good Reverend a copy of the alignment blueprint, because this nigga is out of alignment. He should have never, ever goddamn touched that topic, because that is not his area of expertise. And that is all the fuck I got to say about that.
Say with your chest.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
To answer the question, how that man got us off course, out of alignment. How has alignment transformed my life? So 2 things came up. One is that I found myself again. And that I find myself over and over and over and over again. And the other thing that came up was that I am less afraid. I won't say that I am not afraid, because there's some things that I'm still afraid of, but I am less afraid. For me, I grew up as a PK, similar to you, Black. I don't know what we is, non-denominational, charismatic, Pentecostal, Baptist, a little bit of sprinkle here and there, everywhere. Okay. And my father was a pastor before I was even born. I was literally almost born in church. They had to leave and go to the hospital, and I was born the next day. And so for all of my childhood and a lot of my adulthood, I was told what and who I was supposed to be. And I felt like something was wrong with me because I could not fit myself into these boxes that everybody wanted me to fit in. And seeking alignment, seeking to be in internal agreement with myself, seeking to have peace with myself, made me question that. And for the first time in my life, I am living my life as I wish to live my life, in alignment again with who I am. I don't want to get ahead, but one of the tools that I use is human design. And so learning my human design and using it as a tool in my life about how I get to approach life and interact with people, it allowed me to align with my way to be in life. I've never gotten a job from an application. It have been periods when I was out of work and I sent in 1,000 fucking applications and I did not get back one positive response. What has always happened is that my name precedes me, or I get to step into a place and show them what I can do. And then it's like, oh, keep her here. And what else can you what else can you do? How else can you help us? And prior to a lot of the personal development that I have done, but specifically the human design, learning that I'm meant to be approached. I'm not meant to go out and search for people. It is my design and my setup and my makeup, and what's aligned for me is to be in my box doing my work in my own little corner, in my own little chair, having a good fun old time, and allowing other people to see that and view me and watch me, and then invite me and say, "Hey, girl, Jamise, girl, you wanna be on the live? I'm doing a book launch party. I'm doing a book." That's how that happens for me in my life, in my experience, and around the fear. Again, with all of that history, I was so afraid to trust my inner voice and trust what I actually wanted. But my desire for alignment trumped that fear, and had me continue to take one step in front of the other and really be able to look in the mirror at myself, and change the things that needed to be changed, because your girl is a mess. Okay, ain't we all? To change the things that needed to be changed and transformed, and like you said, be able to alchemize that anger. I was angry for years straight, like pure rage, because I had the rose colored glasses on and I thought the people was telling me the truth, and I figured out they was lying to me, and I was mad. But I'll leave that there.
Thank you. Oh my God, you said so much. And we're going to continue. We're going to have probably a time for one more question, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. Before we do that, the next question, we're going to go into talking about what tools, what tangible things, and some of you already kind of talked about it, so let's dig into a little more, has helped you in this journey of alignment and living authentically. So we're going to go to this first though, and give away the signed copy of the Alignment Blueprint, a personal growth workbook. And that is going to go to Kanita McGee. She was the very first person to comment alignment. And so, Kanita, if you're still on, I will reach out to you afterwards and get your information so I can send you a copy of the book. All right. So, tools. And I'll start, and then we'll go to Tama and Christian. And if you have more that you wanted to share, Jamise, you can share afterwards. So for me, my first entry point, other than therapy, a good therapist. All therapists aren't good. You might have to take some time to find one that vibes with you, that actually hears you and respects your lived experience and holds you accountable and all those things. Was sacred sensuality. Sacred sensuality has been a guiding light for me. It has helped me to become in tune with my body and thus in tune with my intuition, which for me is my connection to a higher power, to God, to Holy Spirit, however you want to call it, to my higher self, to truth, to my truth. It has really helped me to be in touch with my pleasure, which as a Black woman in a time where our pleasure has been and probably will continue to be demonized in and out of the church, that has been so pivotal for me to be able to lean in to that. Like literally part of my ritual today was I was going to have me an orgasm. Like we're going to come into this feeling really, really good. And so, Tama, what about you? What tools?
Mine are similar to yours. Okay. I believe in the power of pleasure, but also learning how to properly leverage the people who love me the way I love myself.
Mm.
Because I feel like tribe life gives you an advantage. And I think sometimes we resist the reality that we use each other.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can bring some mindfulness and some powerful intention to resourcing people, then it makes everything light because you're not carrying everything by yourself. Your sister or your spouse or your loved ones can catch your blind spots before you get there, you know, and you get, hold on, y'all. My lights went.
The timer.
Hold on. After a certain time, I ain't supposed to be in this office. Or if I'm here, the lights need to be off, but that's a different live.
Hey.
That's a different live. Y'all don't need to know how I move this money. Seriously, I find such immense value in my tribe and community life and being able to find myself in other people and they find themselves in me. So I really encourage everybody to look at community life as medicine. It'll help you not only restore your trust in other people after being wounded in different ways, but it'll build your self-trust. My Baba, my spiritual father, would always say to me, it's easy to trust others when you trust yourself. So when you're in relationships and intimate exchanges with other people, you get to practice your self-trust. And for those of us that have a lot of trauma, we need that practice. You know, so don't abandon community life. Don't get so frustrated with your previous experiences that every new person that comes into your life has to get that old energy offloaded on them, right? Be optimistic, find some hope, find some positivity, and vibrate at the frequency that attracts the right people. And relationships are currency, right? So allow that to build a very strong foundation in your process and in how you live. So I just want to give that resourcing tool.
And before you go, Christian, I want to say there are two communities here that I personally am a part of and can wholeheartedly vouch for, with Tama, with the womb sauna, and with Christian and the faith community. So if you are not a part of one or both of them, by all means, plug in, because, and I don't play about safe and brave spaces, places where accountability, where they say what they believe and they actually live it out. And these are two communities that do that. So go ahead, Christian.
I was just thinking that I appreciate you saying that, the alignment between the communities, right? Like we approach like the same core principles from different perspectives. Mm-hmm. Because I was going to say that what has really been beneficial to me is developing a theology of self-love. Mm-hmm. Developing a spirituality of self-love, right? The whole you can't trust other people if you don't trust yourself. I preach all the time. You can't love other people if you don't love yourself. And I actually backed into that. I did not go into this ministry thinking I'm going to figure out how to love myself. I actually just went to the scripture. Like I went to the Bible because I was struggling with my theology. Like seminary had completely destroyed my theology. My embedded theology was gone. And I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to continue to move forward in this space? Because I know I can't continue to preach the stuff that I've been preaching because that doesn't align with me anymore. And I went to the words of Jesus when he was asked, what's the greatest commandment in all the law? And he said, love God with your heart, soul, mind, and your strength. And the second part is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. And that struck me so fiercely because like self-love was something that wasn't taught growing up. Like nobody ever taught us that we were supposed to love ourselves, to the extent that if we did something that was a reflection of self-love, we were taught to think it was selfish and that we were wrong. So when I read those words and really understood that self-love was a core principle to the way of Jesus, I was like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. That ain't what they've been teaching us. And like committing to a theology of self-love just like really changed everything for me, because then my self-love wasn't a rebellion against God, but it was embracing what God intended for me. And in doing so, it strengthened my relationship with myself. It strengthened my relationship with the people around me. It strengthened my relationship with the divine in so many different ways. And then being in community with people that reinforce that, right? Many of us were indoctrinated with some pretty shitty theology growing up. And that indoctrination happens within the context of community. So if the harm happens in community, the healing probably needs to happen in community. And that's not just me, that's Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks said the same thing, that we're healed in community. So I truly believe that developing an ethic of self-love, of genuine self-love, and engaging in community can just have a major impact on how we achieve alignment within ourselves.
Let me tell you, I wholeheartedly agree. And one thing that I had to learn was the depth of my love will reflect the depth of in which I know myself. Jamise, did you have anything else you wanted to share on this?
Child, y'all preaching so good around here. So Tama, did I say that correctly? Tama, you said you can't trust others if you can't trust yourself. And then Christian came behind you and said you can't love others if you can't love yourself. So I'm around this off like a good Baptist preacher with 3 points, okay? And I'm going to say you can't know or be with others if you don't know or be with yourself. Yes, to community and all of that. And also there is healing work that happens in the silo, right? On our own, in our private moments, right? And so they both feed into each other. What I want to be real clear about is that we ensure as we are going into communities that we are not just leeching, right? And expecting other people to do our work for us, right? Like we got the blueprint here, right? You got the blueprint, but the work is yours, okay? You got the tool there, but the work is yours. And I just wanted to say, because I mentioned human design, I just wanted to explain just a little bit about it. Human design is a synthesis of the Hindu Brahmin chakra system, astrology, astronomy, biochemistry, physics, the Kabbalah, it is a synthesis of several tools and systems of self-knowing that are esoteric as well as modern. That's a simpler simpler way of saying that. It was put together by a white man, so we take all things with a grain of salt, and I have found it to be extremely supportive in understanding who I am, why I am what I'm here to focus in on and bring to the world, and also how I get to interact with other people. I also use it in my family and raising my son and understanding who he is, so that I'm not conditioning him outside of who he is. I get to condition him into who he gets to be, and work with him, who he is versus against who he is, which is the intention of the system. It was intended for parents to use it with their children, so that we don't have an entire world of negatively conditioned people.
Amen. That was beautiful. And if you didn't know, if you want to get your human design reading, by all means, make sure you contact my sister Jamise Be. If you are looking to heal everything, and I mean everything, contact my sister Tama Aziz Sewa at thewombsauna.com. And if you like disruptive preachers who cuss, but will make sure that he is telling you to love yourself and then love your neighbor, because that's how you love God, then follow my pastor, Christian A. Smith, on all the social medias, Bishop TikTok, as we call him. Go check out Holy Smokes, Cigars and Spirituality podcast. And then you can find out more about our virtual church, thefaithcommunity.org.
Speaking of Holy Smokes, are we not going to address all the dollar jar words y'all have used?
See,
are we not going to?
We are not on Holy Smokes. I ain't doing that.
Alchemize and esoteric.
I'm not paying the $5. I'm not
you
paying the $5.
And you can get us in the group. Get us in the group. All the dollar jar words that we didn't use. Okay.
That's so funny.
I love you all so much. It's been so amazing. We could probably go for longer, but I will respect all of our time. So thank you all. Please connect with these people, connect with them, support them in what they're doing. Utilize the resources that are available to you. And if you are looking for an entry point, the Alignment Blueprint and Personal Growth Workbook, it is available via my website. It is also available on Amazon. And if you're not necessarily looking for a workbook, it's going to be black because I changed the design, but the Alignment Blueprint Journal is 100 prompts. They're meant to work together. Each chapter has 10 prompts in here for this, but they also can work separately. So I look forward to connecting with y'all. I love y'all so much. If you get the book, please send me a message, chat me, email me, DM me. I would love to hear from all of you. And before we go, we have 2 more giveaways. And so next up, we will be giving away the Paparazzi gift set sponsored by Soulfully Be Gems. And the winner for that is Sharice Jackson. So if you're still on here, I will be reaching out to you. Even if you're not, and you watch this later, I'll be reaching out to you, Sharice. And the final winner for the Worship and Everything t-shirt is Deidre Smith. So congratulations to Kanita McGee, to Sharice Jackson, and Deidre Smith. I will be reaching out to all of you. If you did not get a chance if you did not win and you want to buy the book, again, go to my website. And as soon as this is over, the first 15 copies that are sold of the workbook will be $15 on my website. And so you can go at the bottom, it says bit.ly at hashtag alignment blueprint. So thank you guys so much. I love you all. I'm about to go celebrate with my family. And with that, I will say goodbye. And as always, be as radiant as the sun.